Hello everyone, my name is Nick and welcome back once again to From the Depths. It has been ages since I have made a video since we've been in this game. I'm sorry it's been so long, life has just been busy lately. But you'll also notice we have the sunshine today. So everybody please praise the sun, it's that time of day. But in today's video, we are going to be revisiting a program that I started a while back and we have yet to finish, and that is going to be the THESEUS ship. So if you don't remember the premise of that, go ahead and watch the first video, but basically the premise is we're building a ship and you guys, my subscribers, built me a whole bunch of different components. I'm going to smash them all together and we're hopefully going to have something that functions bare minimum level. So what we're going to do in this video, I'm going to go through each of the different categories of thing that I asked you guys to submit. So I forget what they all were, but we've got a hull category, weapons, sensor suite, AI, the whole 9 yards. And then I'm going to pick a few from each category, and we're going to actually build the THESEUS ship. And then we are going to pit it against other ships from Project Prometheus. So without further ado, you guys have waited long enough for this. So let's get straight into it. Okay, so very first, the most important part of the ship, arguably, is the hull. Now, thankfully, we only received a single hull submission, so we have our THESEUS ship hull right here. And this was actually built by the Chrome Bathtub and Hull Division, hence its resemblance to a bathtub. I'll read the short description that we have here from the submission. Let's see. So this hull adds even more secondary and primary turret wells, as well as a heavy armor layer and a patent-pending HE decapping layer to its citadel armor. It also adds active flotation and stabilization propellers, or up props, to its hull design. So if we take a look here, you can see underneath the hull there are the up props that were just spoken of here. It's got this interesting stone keel, never seen that before, and lots of heavy armor here. This was submitted by one of our Discord members named Mage, so thank you very much, Mage. We will be using your bathtub hull. Now in the next few steps we're going to fill it with weapons, sensors, AI, and all the other stuff, and I may make minor modifications to it to sort of make it look a little less like a bathtub, but we have this hull costing us 407,000 materials, and since we are on the Dreadnought budget for the THESEUS ship, that's not bad at all. So next up, let's take a look at our engine submissions. So next up we have the engine selection. Now I did constrain the engineers for the THESEUS program to give us steam engines only, and once again we only had a single submission, which I would argue is probably about as good as you can get for a steam engine, and it happens to fit in this bathtub hull really nicely. So I'm going to go ahead and throw the description for this up on the screen, but I'm also going to read it for you. This one comes to us from McFist Engineering and Machinery Enterprises, also known as MEME, and this is the Workhorse large steam engine. It's a double large steam engine with storage filling the space in between and no pipes. So basically we have an engine system here with integrated storage, no pipes, and it's pretty efficient. Honestly, can't ask for much more than that. Let's see. Let's lay this thing down at the bottom of this hull here. Make sure I get this placement right. So let's back it up right. Well, not quite flush with the wall. We'll give it a little bit of space there. Yeah, perfect. Okay, great. Okay, so in a little bit here, we're going to have to modify this design just slightly. You know, we're going to have to add propellers and that sort of thing. We'll also have to add decking and some other considerations. But before we do any of that, I think it would be a good idea for us to look into weapons. So now we're going to consider all of the numerous, I mean, we got a ton of weapon submissions for the THESEUS ship. Now, like I said, there are many, so it may take us a bit to get through them, but I may try, if possible, to incorporate one of every single weapon we got onto this ship. Now, with the steam engine, we're up to 413 costs, so negligible difference there. But just to give you guys an idea, in fact, let's take a look here. So under my sub-objects here, I designed a lot of these, but Let's see. So, starting with these are submissions. This is a submission. Let's see. I believe that is a submission. This is a submission, as is this one. That is looking enormous. I think I built that. I can't remember. Hydra turret, hyena. Like, you guys went absolutely insane. We even have a decoy cram here. I mean, this is absolutely absurd. These are guns from the Indomitable Spirit. The It Me Murder gun. Everybody's favorite gun. Jeb Stern. Those are prefabs. The Kerberos. Okay, there's a lot of choices here. So I'm going to showcase a few of these guns and then add as many of them to the ship as I can without exorbitantly blowing over the cost limit. So let's do that. Okay, so I've just added the first gun to the front of this ship, and I must say it looks quite intimidating. This is the Kerberos gun, and it was built by... Okay, let me pull up my sheets here. Hang on. This was built by Desyndicat. Yes, that's right. It's a 500 millimeter AP heat turret, fire rate of 5.9 RPM, range of 5 kilometers, costs right about 50,000 materials. I have a couple other specs here. I think this is a pretty good, just like main gun. You know, it gets the job done. It's AP heat. That's what I use for most of my main guns on my Prometheus ships. This is our first edition. Now, you'll notice we have, how many is that? Is that 8? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, if I can count, which it appears I can, slots for these guns. So let's take a look through our sub-objects here. What do I want to add next? I saw one here that was kind of like, okay, this is something I built. These are good for our secondaries here. 7x7. The Behemoth Cram. This might be a good addition. See, this is exactly why I wanted to do this. I wanted you guys to give me absolutely ridiculous things, and then for me to just plop them in a boat and have the boat go crazy. So, you'll hear my computer spinning up like a jet engine, but let's try and plop this thing down in here. Okay, that's the right level. Now, can I get it at least somewhat centered? I believe. Yeah, that will do. Okay. Let's go ahead and add that to our design. Yes, very nice. Excellent work. Okay, let me figure out who built this and then read you guys the specs. So this is another submission from McFist Engineering and Machinery Enterprises. It is titled the Behemoth Cram Turret. It is, let's see, it says it's based on older cram technology, inferior in some areas compared to weapons based on more advanced mechanisms, but it has 2-meter wide shells, which at that point, you're going to do damage to anything you can hit. It's based on another design from John McFist, the user that submitted this, known as the Sovereign. It costs 100,000 mats with materials, armor, ammo boxes, all that. Oh boy, it's big. It's, I mean, look at this thing. It's enormous. But I like it. It actually stacks quite nicely with this front turret that we've got here. So, yeah, that brings our total cost so far up to 563,000 materials. So I would say we're doing pretty well. And thanks to this hull's active flotation technology, we're still floating pretty good. So let's look at another turret here. Sub-objects. There's this. What is this? Maybe. Okay, it appears that this is for something else. Somebody submitted. This looks like a land fortification. Don't get me wrong, this is super cool. I actually really like this, but I can't put this on my boat. At least not right now. Let's see. I built that. I believe that would be good for our other systems. What the heck is this thing? What? A surface mount weapon, Hydra turret? Okay, wait. I need to just place this to see what it is. Okay, actually I can't. Maybe we'll mount this on the rear of the ship. I feel like this would be a good rear-facing weapon. We'll revisit that one. Hyena torpedo launcher, we'll get there. These are just simple CIWS systems. Let's see. The It Me murder gun is featured prominently on another one of our ships. Let's see. We got the keel breaker. These mega turrets are my builds. We can ignore those. Rotary cannon. Hydra swivel. Oh my god. Modular weapon flare. Okay. This is for later. Okay, we have a... Jesus Christ. Oh, what is this thing? Some kind of flame weapon, it would appear. This is enormous. I would like to note while we're here, I have not used the flame weapons in this game yet. Have not gotten around to testing it. We'll get there soon. I could put this on the ship. Maybe. Maybe. Let's keep looking, though. Keep that in our back pocket for now. We have some visual detection. Infinite quad turret. Okay, I like this. This could be good. Okay. Yeah, you know what? Let's add one of these here. Yeah. I'm gonna, unfortunately, the way the hull is structured, I'm gonna have to put it a little higher than we normally would. And then maybe I will do... how should we do this, guys? I could put the same 3 turrets at the back, or I could get creative with it. Okay, well, let me place this, and then we'll think about what we want to do with the rest of the weapon slots. Alrighty, folks, moving along with the build, I've shifted to the back of the vehicle here. Our next submission comes from a user called Captain Blue Shadow, again from our Discord server. And this is sort of an 1890s style casemate type gun. And while it may not be the strongest in terms of firepower, it has a lot of cool factor. And it's one of the reasons I want to include it on the rear here, specifically right above our engines. So I'm going to go ahead and add... Oh boy. Hang on. Let me place this properly. There we go. Okay. There we go. All right. Beautiful. Look at that. I think that's pretty cool. Who cares if it has a little less firepower than some of the absolute monstrosities further up the ship? The other thing I wanted to mention, I did a little more research into one particular turret here. Let me find it. It was, I believe it was the Hellfire Flamer. Where is it? Oh, bear with me here while I find this thing. Not this guy. It was the huge one. Well, actually, while we're here, I do want to add a Kerberos here as well. Put it right here. That's a little too low. That's probably good. Okay. Hate to see all that space go to waste under there, but what can you do? Let's find this gun I was talking about. So, Opticon. You guys are going to like this one. We'll get there. We will get there. Oh, yes, this. So, this is an excellent weapon. It is a thing of beauty, truly. Very, very powerful. Basically, like a flamethrower before the flame update was added. There's just one problem with it. It costs 660,000 materials, which is almost half of the entire budget of the ship. This single weapon costs more than the entire hull of the Theseus ship. That's crazy, but it's exactly what I wanted, so good job. I can't include it because we're going to go way over budget if I do, but this is exactly the kind of thing I was looking for, and I'll be saving this for later. But in the meantime, let's figure out what we want our last few guns to be here. Honestly, I think I might want to add another Behemoth Cram. I really like that particular weapon. Let's see. The rotary. Oh, God. You guys did so much cool stuff. I feel like I have to build multiple ships with this stuff because of how cool it all is. Okay, the behemoth cram. This thing is just a pig to look at. Alright, let's lower it into its cage here. That should be good right there. And let's check our ground clearance. We have plenty. And we're centered. Excellent. Good lord. Okay, let's check our cost. 810,000. We are well under cost. That's what we like to see, unlike real defense contractors. Now, should I put another one of these? You know what? Why the heck not? You guys gave me basically Lego brick cannons, but that's gonna be way too tall, actually. Like, it's gonna capsize this poor ship. You know what? To heck with it. Ridiculous is the name of the game. Let's put one there. That takes us up to 912. Okay. Looking good so far. Yes, very good so far. Okay. So, I'm going to leave these two slots open for right now because there's a few more things we need to do first. One of those things is we're going to incorporate the AI for this project. So if we go into our sub-objects once again, we had only a single AI submission, which is not surprising because who likes to build AIs anyway, called the Overseer from McFist Engineering and Machinery Enterprises once again. I'm going to stick this right smack dab in the center of our boat. It says forward is that way, so we'll just put it right here. Okay, it's not letting me place it again. But anyway, that's the AI we're going to use, and then we're going to select our superstructure, which we had a very good submission for, and then we will add our detection suite and all of our secondaries. And then, if we're not grossly over budget, we will have a pretty much functional ship. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the greatest pagoda ever built. I mean, look at this thing. This was one of my favorite submissions that we received from, we even have this little dancing dude here. From a user named Jekan in the Discord server. Let me see if there are any details on this one. That it is irresponsible and large. Now, I actually am going to take a second to just appreciate how, first of all, how beautiful this pagoda is. I mean, look at the use of transition blocks, and not to mention how ridiculously tall it is, with what appear to be doors even on the top layers. Insane. But not only that, this pagoda actually was part of a larger submission, you can see here, a very basic superstructure layout that I think is really nice, really elegant. Sadly, can't use most of the superstructure just because of the nature of the ship, but I basically used my big imprecise saw and I cut off the pagoda section and put it right in the center of this beautiful ship. So, yeah, it's great. I think this gives the Theseus ship a very particular character, and I love that. And this also brings our total cost now to 945,000 materials. So we're still well under budget, but we have a lot left to add. All of the secondary systems still need to be added. I'm going to do some sculpting work with the actual hull itself. I still need to add the propeller systems and steering and detection systems. But I think we actually are going to come in under budget for this one, which is surprising, if not shocking, honestly. Alright, everybody, so the ship is looking fantastic, if you ask me. Don't mind the random pagoda over there. So it's time to add secondaries. I went ahead and stuck the AI all the way down in the bowels of the ship, but now we're going to add a couple secondaries. So I actually asked for a few different things. Basically, with the secondaries, I just told people, give me whatever you want, whether it be a CIWS system or a sort of active secondary meant for damaging the enemy ship. Like, I don't care. Just be creative. Make something cool. That's always the motto around here. So I'll turn on symmetry mode here, and let's start getting a look through. I believe we will have room for every single secondary that was solicited. So, let's see. Okay, let's just start at the top here. So these are all my designs. Okay, here we go. 5x5 with armor, CIWS turret. This was built by, let me take a look in the Discord here. Oh, okay. Weird. I can't find it. We'll get back to that in a minute, but we're going to add this to the ship. Pretty basic looking CIWS system. Not going to be able to touch the ground again, unfortunately. That is just fine. That is bothering me. But it's okay. It's fine. So let's bring this down here and place it right there. Oh, okay. Oh, it almost sits flat. So let's put 2 of these in on this side, and then it should have symmetried. Yes, very nice. Let's make sure the actual turret block placed. It did. Excellent, looking good. Okay, second sub-object here. This was probably built by the same person. 5x5 with armor, flamethrower turret. We love flamethrowers. Now, I would anticipate that these will be kind of a close range thing, so I'm going to stick these up near the front of our ship here. These also look kind of stubby, not in a bad way. They just do. So yeah, let's stick it right there. Very nice. Oh, okay. I see a little... Oh, boy. Scary little barrel there. Before we go any further, though, let me make sure, or let me find out who built these. I want to give credit to the person that built them. Okay, so these turrets were actually built by a user named Scorpion56. I also would like to point out that he is one of the oldest members of our Discord server. So thank you very much, and we will put them to great use on this ship of ours. That brings our total cost to just over 1 million. We are right about where I want us to be, so that's good. Also, Mage, who built this hull, is probably cringing because it definitely looks like it was intended to be sort of finished, and I'm just plopping things down into it and going to call it a day here. So let's continue. Let's look at a few more here of our sub-objects. So we also were provided with this 7x7 with armor AA turret. Now, unfortunately, well, actually, I think, yeah, looks like this will fit here. So let's stick it in there. Let's see what it'll do, because we do not have any anti-aircraft right now. Perfect. That actually looks quite cool. Let's see if I can fit another one of these down here. Is that 7x7? It looks like it will fit. Yes, very nice. Great, okay. Hopefully those can spin appropriately and I don't have to remove them. So, excellent. Thank you, Scorpion56. Your contribution is appreciated. I believe I built that. These are our primary turrets. That cram is enormous. The big cram, which is really interesting, is on its own little platform here. The grinder. Now, I don't think... Yeah, I didn't build this. This looks way more sophisticated than something I would build. So, I'm going to go ahead and plop this down in one of our turret wells here as well. Oh, perfect. It's the perfect size. So, fit that in there. Looking fantastic. Wow, that looks like a fearsome turret. So, yeah, you know, let's also put... I feel like this just belongs up here. Hopefully that's okay, and that'll still be able to turn. We will find out. Okay, cost is 1.16. We are doing well, everybody. We are doing well. Let's continue looking here. The Hydra turret. Ooh. You know, I did kind of want to use this on the ship, but... it's a little ridiculous. What does this even look like? Oh my lord. Wait a minute. I gotta know who built this thing. Okay, hang on. You guys gaze upon the spectacle of the turret while I consult the Discord for the Hydra turret. This is probably it, right? There we go. Okay, actually, all right. This was built by a user named Enderborn01. Let's see. Also built the Hydra rotary cannon and the Hydra swivel. It says, we took a rotary design meant for aircraft use and scaled the number of barrels up to its practical limit. Okay. Well, what is... Jesus Christ. You people are crazy in the best way. 79,000... Okay. Alright. You know what? Just for you, I will find a way. I will include your ridiculous turret. How? I'm not entirely sure yet. But we'll get there. We'll get there. Alright, so we're also going to have torpedoes, but we'll get there in a minute because, you know, not that important. These are from a user called ItMe on our Discord server, from It's a Company, the company. Let's see if we can fit these in here. These are CIWS systems. Looks like, yeah, that looks like it'll fit. And let's see what the level is at. Oh, what a perfect design. Well done. That is cool. That is actually really cool. You made it look like a manual AA gun. That is awesome. Excellent job. Did I have symmetry on? Yes, I did. Okay. Those are blocked by the superstructure. I could put one in here. Where it's not supposed to be. We'll leave it off for now. We'll leave it off for now. I actually, fun fact, I forget exactly what the dreadnought limit is, so we're just going to hope we don't go over it. Let's keep looking. We have a decoy cram here. This is going to be useful, I think. I don't know if I'm using these properly, but I'm just going to stick them right in here. Okay. And call it a day. That is an interesting looking cannon. Thank you once again, ItMe from It's a Company. Excellent work. Let's see. We've incorporated all these. This is another torpedo system. The Hydra rotary cannon is very cool, but I am going to have to incorporate this. I've just had a horrible idea. I know exactly where to put this cannon. Where else but on the top of the pagoda? Oh, man. This is why you guys shouldn't have done this for me. You shouldn't have given me this kind of power. Hydra swivel. Looks like a... Oh, interesting. Very cool. That's a very unique design. I've never seen anything quite like that. Great job. I'm going to leave that off for now, but... I mean, that could be really cool. I feel like on a mech, that would look really cool. Let's see. Armored tracking turret. Okay, I believe this... I don't know if this is actually... This is just detection, right? Yeah, okay. So, actually, the perfect spot for these detection systems while we're here... I'm just going to stick them right here. Yeah, guys, that looks great. Okay, let's continue on our journey down the list here. We got our AI. I can't use this monstrosity. I wish I could. The Ripper turret, I believe, is mine. We have visual detection here. That actually would probably be useful. What does this look like? Okay, I'm going to have to place that as a prefab. Thunderclap. Tracker. Triple threat. I'm just seeing this now. This is a new turret. Oh, cool. Okay, this looks very similar to the Kerber. I like how you stack the ammo loaders on top of it. Cool. I just noticed that. Maybe we will replace one of the rear guns with that. Let's continue looking, though, for secondaries. These are all mine. Vanguard, Vanguard, Vanguard. Okay, alright. So, what's our cost at? We're at 126. Not bad. Not bad at all. I think that we still need a few more... Well, I'll say we need one more pair of secondaries, and then we can cover the rest of the holes for now, because I don't want to go too crazy with it right off the bat. Don't want to blow the budget. So what's a good secondary we can put in here? I like this grinder. This is cool. So yeah, let's put that in. Nope, I always forget my buttons. There we go. It's got the ammo thing on the back of it. I'll have to be sure to delete those. Okay. Unbelievably, it seems we have almost a ship here. So, what's going to happen now? I am going to go make a few finishing touches on this. What does this mean? I'm going to put the deck on it. I'm going to put the propulsion systems on it. I am going to also add ammo storage, fuel storage, whatever we need. And basically just make it from this monstrosity that it is into a fully functional ship. Let's see if it still floats. It should. Thanks to the hull design. Hey, 2 thumbs up from me, guys. Okay, so I'm gonna modify this real quick, and then we'll be right back. We'll test this thing out. All right, everybody. The time has come. Would I call this a finished ship? Absolutely not. Would I call it good enough to test? Yes, certainly. This is the THESEUS ship, which is built to Project Prometheus regulations, so roughly World War II era weaponry. It is a sight to behold, and that is because it is built almost exclusively out of components designed by you guys, my subscribers. We have quite a few people represented on this build, many of which, like if you're on this ship, if you see something you built on here, put your name in the comments and, you know, give yourself some credit. There's a few things that I still would like to improve on this ship, actually quite a few. One of them being this completely ugly like turret housing that I did here. I'm just trying to get this to a state of let's see if it blows up. So I just did the most simple, easy turret housing possible with that metal there. Additionally, there's not really a bow. It kind of just stops. I should probably put like a nice clean bow on that. We'll do that in the future, but that's not going to prevent us from testing it. And same thing back here. Although I think this is probably okay left flat, but you know, we could add a nice smooth tapered stern to it. Also, a single propeller from a single steam engine is not proving to be extremely powerful. I'm realizing I probably should have incorporated several steam engines, especially because they were only 10K. Also sealing up the deck in certain spots. But yeah, anyway, it has detection, it has guns, it's capable. It's time for us to test it. So first we're going to just pit it against something it should very easily beat up on. And what better to start this off with? Well, first let me pause the game. Then the Kerman class Destroyer, our classic, you know, just beat up on it all the time craft. So let's spawn this thing in here. It's beautiful. It has an ugly keel. It has rams on the front and a tendency to just absolutely destroy anything in its path. Let's see if the Theseus ship can kill one of these little guys. Okay, there we go. Here come the first shots. The game is complaining. Look at the size of those. That's it. One of those big cram shells connected, and it is over. Oh, there you go. Look at how it blew the rear out of that thing. That's crazy. Absolute no contest. As we would expect. I mean, this is a destroyer. This is a super battleship dreadnought thing. I mean, yeah, okay. I would call that a pretty good start. Let's see if we had any self-injury over here. Looks pretty good. I do see some repair tentacles, so maybe we damaged ourselves. Nothing major, though. Okay, that's good. Let's move on to a further test. I also just would like to note real quick, there were also torpedo submissions made. Those will be added in a future video. We're running short on time today, so just want to test this thing as is. I love how you can just tell that it's the Theseus ship because of the mast. The enormous pagoda mast. I mean, you would be able to tell what that thing was from miles away. So next we're going to pit this thing up against 2 thunderclaps and 3 Kermans. So this is a pretty standard battle group here. We're actually mixing AI and human craft, but in the Prometheus universe, the Theseus ship is like its own independent thing, run by a small, like, nomad state. It's not affiliated with any side. So this thing is just, it can get attacked by anyone from anywhere. So without further ado, let's let it loose here. Oh boy. Okay. Be interesting to see who it targets for. Oh, looks like we could use a little more detection. First volley is looking pretty poor. Oh, the Kerman. So far, so good. Looks like, in this case, detection is our biggest problem. We have our first few hits on the fleet here. Oh, that was a snipe. Big hits on both the thunderclaps, which thunderclaps are not known for being particularly strong ships. I'm deliberately trying to pit it against the weaker craft first. Oh, just barely misses the cram volley. That is going to be a hit. Oh, maybe not. Jeez. We have switched targeting to the Kermans here. Looks like the Theseus ship has decided the thunderclaps are destroyed enough. Let's see if we're getting any big hits going here. Nothing too bad. One of the upsides of the Kerman is that its armor is so thin. Case in point. Direct hit to the center from the cram, and that is a dead Kerman. Actually, somehow it's still alive, but it's effectively dead. Yeah, the armor is so thin on these things that if a ship has armor-piercing rounds, they just go right through it. They go right through it. But if there's any kind of high explosive rounds or frag rounds, the Kermans are done for. The thunderclaps are both still fighting back, although it looks like their engines must have been disabled. That's another big hit on the Kerman. Probably a killer. Oh, that cram cannon is disgusting. A little friendly fire here on the Kermans. Always hitting each other, these things. Always. More big chunks falling out of these ships. It's not looking good, guys. It's not looking good. However, it does seem like our Theseus ship could use some more detection systems. Alright, are we going to get it? Are we going to get a hit? Oh, right in the rear. That is crazy. That'll take out that engine. So are any of these... This one still has its engines, but no ammo. have no idea how that shell missed. And then, oh boy, here we go. Another big one. Just missed. Looks like we've refocused on the thunderclaps. A wise choice from the Theseus ship. That one is getting shredded. Watching that from afar is insane. I have to say, I've never used cram cannons on any of my ships. Wow, that's completely destroyed. Just because I don't know the system very well, I have to learn it, but the effects are devastating when used properly. I'm sure that CIWS systems can probably counter cram pretty effectively. Like, look at that shell. Ooh, direct hit to the bridge and the superstructure. This ship has been gutted. Yep, completely gutted. Yeah, I think we're going to call this a pretty strong victory for the Theseus ship. Now, the moment of truth here is that autocannon. Oh my god, I didn't even notice. Look at this thing. It's absurd. Not seeing any major damage. Looks like these guns might need AI on them to start spinning. Oh, and we need to add azimuth restrictions. That is absurd. Just a torrent of bullets. Okay, alright. So I'm going to call test number 2 a success. Before we go any further, I just realized we didn't do sea trials. Let's do the sea trials for this thing. Now, I wouldn't necessarily expect this ship to do well in sea trials because it is pretty cumbersome and it has this massive pagoda. But hey, you never know. Sometimes big ships like this, it doesn't even matter what the weather is. They'll just do fine regardless. We can do better than that. Give me bigger waves. Let's go to 0.95. Come on. Show me the money. Okay, there we go. Looking much better. It's definitely going to capsize. 100%. Still moving pretty good. Thanks to those active flotation devices, also known as up props, we might be stable enough in the water. We'll see. They're working hard right now. Working very hard underneath the ship. Geez, look at that wall of water. Doesn't appear to be doing much of anything. Although I will say, I believe that the up props on the bottom side of the hull are actually acting to stabilize it somewhat, because it seems to not be capsizing, which is a good sign, but actually might stand corrected here. Let's find out. Oh boy, it's much more stable than I would have expected. Although it does look as though it's gonna tip over here. Especially since I went ahead and put something super heavy on the top of the pagoda. I mean, what do you expect, you know? Yeah, are we gonna capsize? Maybe not. It actually looks to be correcting now. Wow. Yeah, it looks like it's slowly righting itself. Well, that's impressive. Obviously, this ship gets a horrible score for sea trials. Let's say 2 out of 10, even though there's no rating scale. Because, yeah, I mean, look at it. It's basically dead in the water here. But anyway, let's get back to the fun bit, the combat trials. I'm going to pit this against some battleships, and then we are going to pit it against probably an equivalent foe. Most likely the Wavebreaker, perhaps another Dreadnought. We shall see. But anyway, let's get to it. Now, the most recent version of the AI Vanguard, which is pictured here, is quite a capable ship. It is pretty oversized for what it's supposed to be, but it's actually quite capable in combat. I mean, this is like the 3rd or 4th refit of this ship that we've done. It's actually the ship that started the whole Prometheus series. So I have to say, I'm not expecting necessarily a ship like this, which is still sideways. I should have waited to start the combat. I don't know how well I expect the Theseus ship to do against it because, again, this ship is not polished. It has still missing a lot of things. But we will see. We will see. I think the sheer cost difference means that it should win, the Theseus ship. So let's see. Let the combat begin. Okay. Misses on the first salvo is always bad news. Those crams. Oh, we do have... Yep, that'll do it. One of the big turrets, or the main guns, is already out on the Vanguard, and a big hit near the motor from the cram cannons. However... Yeah, the Vanguard is taking more hits than any of the prior combatants. I mean, you can't even see the actual ship. You just see the pagoda and then a mass of black, like, smoke. That is the Theseus ship. Looks like it's tearing into the Vanguard pretty good here, but the Vanguard is still operational. It still has this main gun, which it appears is firing pretty consistently. I'm not seeing as much. Oh, here it comes. Yep. Oh, unfortunately, those glanced off the deck of the Vanguard, but it has now lost its main gun. Ship is being gutted. Let's check in on the Theseus ship and see how we are doing here. Wow. We haven't lost a single cannon. Actually, there was one there, right? No? Did I not put one there? Maybe not. Impressive performance. Has not taken any meaningful damage yet. Meanwhile, the Vanguard is being torn to shreds here. Yeah. Not looking good for you, buddy. Okay. Well, that's good enough. That's a good enough version of that test for me. So let's destroy that vehicle and repair this one. So I want to test this ship against some of my ships that I actually know are decent. So one of those is the Barracuda. So let's get a couple of these in here. Even though they're cheap, these ships pack a punch. They're the light cruiser for the human fleet. They're probably one of the best ships I've ever built just because they are not oversized and they are good at dishing out damage and not taking much of it. And let's put a brand new Jebediah back here. The Jeb is another ship that has seen many refits. Let's put the 3.6 back here. Still over budget, but who cares? That is the Jebediah 3.6. All right, 5v1. Let's go. Let's see it happen here. Who's it going to target first? Looks like it's targeting the Jebediah, which is smart, but it's way overshot. Oh, one big hit in the front, though. But the Jebediah is the first ship to take it without losing its main gun in the front. And it looks like we are taking quite a lot of fire from those Barracudas on the Theseus ship. I mean, a 5v1 against competent ships is difficult for anything to win. It's good that it's prioritized. Ooh, that was bad. Did we lose our ammo here? Oh, we may have. If the Jeb lost its ammo, it's essentially dead in the water. Yeah, and it actually looks like it's sinking. This is one of the problems with the refitted Jebediah. It tends to sink when it gets hit. However, these Barracudas are not shying away from the fight here. That autocannon, I don't think it's doing anything, but it looks so cool. The Barracudas are coming in for combat. It looks like the armor is taking hits, but no guns have been lost yet. We have to take out this Jebediah so we can start focusing on the Barracudas. Ah, and we did. That is extremely impressive. That is a very quick work through. Now we got to retarget to the Barracudas. Here it goes. Turn those guns. Oh, these little dudes are going to get destroyed by those big guns. Oh, poor Barracuda. That's not good. Are these not even the XL versions? Hang on. Hang on a minute. Oh, this isn't even the right Barracuda. My mistake. I guess the Theseus ship will just have to contend with more. Yeah, it's the XL. Obviously. Don't even know my own ships. These guys are the real contenders. They got big guns, very survivable. Alright, this should be tough for the Theseus ship to win here. Although it just took a pretty good pot shot at that one. Oh. Ooh, big hits on this guy. Main guns are down. Looks like we've retargeted to this one. This thing is surprisingly, for how unrefined it is in its current state, they have some friendly fire there. It's surprisingly effective at destroying its enemies. Looks like this Barracuda is sunk. This guy is soon to follow. Man, this thing is getting shredded. Ugh. I guess these small ships, you know, like at some point, tiny ship versus big ship gonna win. Let's see if we've lost any capability here. We haven't. That is very impressive. I don't know if it's because of the CIWS systems or just because we have good armor. Hard to tell for sure, but it doesn't look like we're taking hardly any incoming fire. Meanwhile, this fleet of Barracudas out here is just getting absolutely shredded. This one is down. That one just took a huge hit. That guy is sunken but still moving. Jeez. Alright, let's see the... This guy's gonna take a big hit for sure here. Let's see one of those cram shells. Oh, and there it goes. Ammunition storage is blown on that one. Retargeting to this guy. Oh, here comes the cram shell. Here it comes. Let's see if we get a hit right in the center. That is devastating. And that one skips over into the distance. It looks like... Jeez. The other two are fleeing. Looks like this guy made an attempt to flee, but he's not going to make it very far because, judging by the steam pouring out of the rear, the engines are blown. Look at that fearsome pagoda. It looks very much like a Yamato from a distance, you know, with the Japanese pagoda-style mast. Are you going to be able to hit that? That is quite a shot. It looks on target. Oh, not quite. Not quite. I forgot to get rid of the Spawno Fortress. So interestingly, the two Barracudas that have survived are of the small variety, not the XL variety. But the Theseus ship isn't even bothering. It's just destroying the remnants of the other combatants over here. So the real test now will be, if I pit this ship against a dreadnought, is it going to be able to survive? Because the Wavebreaker, which is in dire need of a refit, has a lot of firepower, but is also not very well armored. And if you survive its initial salvo, odds are pretty good that you're going to survive in general and beat it. So I will be very interested to see. But yeah, this thing is just mopping the floor with these other ships. So let's just get rid of them. Do the full repair on this guy. I have to fix the azimuth restrictions. Pretend you didn't see that. Okay. We'll do a little head-to-head. So I'm going to come on over here and going to drop in a... Let's pit it against the Wavebreaker. I could pit it against the other Dreadnought, whose name actually slips my mind right now. Is it the Indomitable Spirit, or is that a heavy cruiser? Yeah, that's a heavy cruiser. I actually forget what it's called. I think it starts with an I. But let's get the Wavebreaker in here. This might crash my computer, actually. These two ships combined are quite expensive. Also would like to note, I believe the Dreadnought limit is 1.5 or 1.75 million. Either way, we are hugely under budget on the Theseus ship. So, it could only go up from here. Alright, everybody, it's time for the clash of the two titans here. We have in the left corner the Wavebreaker Super Dreadnought, the biggest and most powerful ship in the Prometheus universe. Not necessarily the best, because it does have several significant flaws. In the right corner, with the massive pagoda, we have the Theseus ship, which is a hodgepodge of subscriber-built components that honestly is quickly becoming a well-proven ship. So, gonna let these two duke it out and see what happens. Here we go. Okay, the initial volley is off from the Theseus ship. The Wavebreaker, however, puts off quite a few rounds. Looks like both initial volleys are gonna miss. I'm going to zero in on the Wavebreaker over here because, honestly, I expect it. There's the first big hit. Okay. Not seeing anything too major happening yet. We did get a big hit from one of the cram cannons here. It looks like just got another hit, lost some secondaries. Okay, here come the cram shells. If these impact, it will be very interesting. Let's see. Yup, there we go. 2 large impacts. Looks like yup, that's the Wavebreaker's weakness. Its secondaries chain react when hit like that. It also does not appear to have a very good CIWS system to counter the crams. However, its main guns are still intact. So, okay, you know, I don't want to miss this. So, let's take a pause. This thing's already taken a beating. Let's head over to the Theseus ship here and see what we have going on. So, actually looks like not that much damage. In fact, oh, it looks like this sensor suite, both sensor suites are gone. Other than that, not looking too bad over here. My theory is, I guess, that the CIWS systems on this ship are so good it's not getting hit. But let's stay put over here and see if we can confirm that. Yeah, it looks like the shells are getting destroyed not long before they hit the ship. So let's head back over to the Wavebreaker, which is taking a beating. Yeah, wow, that is a cool shot. Thumbnail. Oh, wow, look at that. It's getting absolutely scoured by those cram shells. There goes one of the main guns. Yeah, I hate to say it, guys, but it's not looking good for the Wavebreaker right now. Not looking good at all. It is just taking hit after hit after hit. It's lost both of its front main guns. Wow, look at that. Almost torn in half. Wow. So really, this ship is actually almost completely disabled now. That is crazy. 2 more big hits coming in here. Not good. Wow. Impressive amount of firepower from the Theseus ship. This thing, I don't know if we've ever had the Wavebreaker get pummeled like this in battle before. And of course it's shooting still at the spawn fortress. Not like it actually matters. This is quickly becoming a lopsided piece of combat. Even though this ship is so much more expensive. Alright, more hits here. What's still... Looks like we got 1 secondary. 1 secondary firing. A total of 5 secondaries still alive. And 1 main gun. Make that 4. Okay, so the Wavebreaker appears to have taken up the Kerman strategy here. It's going into ramming mode. But, I mean, just look at the front of this ship. It has been torn to shreds. Jeez. Needs a refit even worse than we initially thought. Getting the secondaries firing in there. Let's check in on the Theseus ship, see if she took any damage. Doesn't look like it. All I'm seeing is shot after shot after shot firing off of this thing. Yeah, virtually no damage. I guess the CIWS systems are just too good on this thing. Look at that autocannon. Is that actually hitting it now? It looks like, oh yeah, it is. Or it's at least trying. Oh, wow. Okay. Well, I think that is a pretty strong evaluation on the success of the Theseus ship and the Theseus project overall. You guys made all the components for this ship. I did minimal work intentionally, just cobbling them together. And we got a pretty dang good ship. So if you would like to further modify this ship on your own, or perhaps add something to it or reconfigure it, or even just use the parts, join our Discord server. There will be a link in the description. And yeah, we will probably revisit this ship at some point to properly finish it and update it the way it should be. Also clearly need to give this big guy a refit, even though it's already over budget. It's just not holding up as well as it should be. But anyway, I love doing events like this where I get to engage you guys, the subscribers, in the content of my videos. So if you have more ideas for ways to do that, please feel free to drop them in the comments below. But anyway, thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope you have a wonderful day.